Hello everyone and welcome to the Animezilia, and today we'll be going over the discussion of can Penny return to the series of RWBY in volume 7. Now, this video isn't going to be a theory type video, more so a discussion to talk about the possibility of why I think Penny Paulina can and could return to the series of RWBY. But before I start, I do want to mention the fact that there are a few hints floating around online about Penny returning, but I haven't been keeping up or reading them, simply because I don't want to be spoiled before I watch the episode. So this video is just going to be me throwing 5 ideas as to why I think Penny should return, and how it could possibly create a story narrative in terms of where it could take a character to. So then, point number 1 is very easy, very simple. We're in Atlas. So the crew are currently in Atlas, and Atlas is the home place of Penny. That's where she was created. And after the fall of Beacon, I'm pretty sure they would have tried to retrieve a body or, tried to rebuild Penny. And if I remember correctly, there was a scene in volume 2 or 3 where Penny said that she must keep her distance quiet because people don't know about her, as well as the fact is that she, was reluctantly allowed to go to Beacon. Originally, they didn't want her to leave Atlas. So maybe she is still alive, or is alive, and they're just not letting her out of Atlas for the time being. Now, number 2 is Penny's death. When we saw this character die, we see something funky happen with her eyes. No, she is not a silver-eyed warrior. But if you can imagine that would be pretty overpowered and broken. If that was the case. No, it looked more like a function was being started or was currently in progress. Like a recording, so maybe she was recording what was happening around her. Or some data was being uploaded. This could be anything from memories or programming data. So the idea of them not having the right program or the right data to rebuild Penny would be a poor excuse. So why they can't bring her back? Just a mystery at the moment. Now number 3 is where it gets a little bit more kind of story heavy. Maybe a little bit more darker, and it depends on 2 things. It depends on whether or not there is actually hostility towards the Farnes, which I think there is from Atlas's point of view, and depends on whether or not Penny is actually alive and is quite popular. So number 3 is the Farnes. Now, I don't mean that she's going to become a bloodthirsty Farnes killing machine. I'm more leaning towards the idea of Penny acting like a bridge to help patch things up between the Farnes and Atlas. As a lot of hostility is aimed towards the Farnes, and this is evidence because Cordovan is very kind of annoyed at the fact that Weiss is friends with Blake. Back in, I can't remember where it was now. I almost said San Diego. I just did. Oh well. And this is basically after the fall of Beacon. So Penny has been shown to have human emotions and is able to understand other people. So maybe with Blake being friends with RWBY and RWBY being friends with Penny, the two could become closer and work towards breaking this hostility that the Atlas public have against the Farnes. Because not all Farnes are bad. And I don't know if any of you do remember, but a long time ago I did make a video. There was a small theory, pretty bad if I'm honest, I think I rewatched it the other day, that maybe Atlas were gearing up to attack the Farnes and wipe them out completely. So maybe if Penny's popular enough and is praised as like a figurehead in Atlas, she might be able to talk people out of being hostile. So people are more likely to listen to Penny because she's from Atlas and because she's quite popular, meaning that they'll probably side with her and believe that the finest aren't all bad. Because nobody knows what's happened to Adam, and he was the leader of the White Fang. So maybe once they clear that up, who knows? Now, number 3, if you're still not over Pyrrha's death, then I apologise, but it's time to get over it. And it's time to get over it from Juniper's point of view. Now, remember who killed Penny? I do. It was Pyrrha. And we know that it was an accident. And we also know that Jean knows this. And he would likely blame himself for his team's actions. Now, maybe he doesn't know this, and maybe this will come as a shock to him when they enter Atlas themselves. Maybe some member of the public could shout, "You killed Penny," or "Your teammate killed her," and then throw like tomatoes or something at him. I don't know, I'm winging it. And I believe a small part of Jean would feel guilty about this. And so would his other teammates. Because their teammate and Jean's lover killed Penny, not on purpose, but it was still a kill. So having these two meet and trying to overcome the feelings that they have towards each other would be a great way to further develop Jean's character. Now, this would only be a one-way sort of resolution, because I honestly have no reason to believe that Penny would hold a grudge against Team Juniper. But like I said, the people of Atlas might hold a grudge. Now, who knows? This could be hinting at the fact that Penny might join Team Juniper, or Junior, because Team Juniper are in desperate need of a P, and well, Penny starts with a P. Not likely, but possible, depending on whether or not she can become a representative of Atlas and helping them towards the battle against Salem. Could be a way that they resolve things later on in the volume. Possible. Now next we go to number 5, which is the final reason, but this is technically split into 3 parts. So, is it the final? I'll let you decide that. Now, bringing back Penny would be fantastic, especially for the character of RWBY. But this doesn't need to be straight away. There's a few possibilities in way they can bring Penny back, and still have it to be a great display from RWBY's character, and a great showing of development. So number 1, they're friends, and RWBY needs a friend, and something good to happen to her. After all, she deserves it, and everything that's happened to her, she just needs a break. She needs that one little thing that goes, you know what, things are okay. Number 2, we get to see some great emotional development from RWBY's character, as she's seen her friend die in front of her, and she failed to help her out. This must weigh on RWBY's mind, and seeing Penny again could bring back these feelings. Penny might get overwhelmed. RWBY might get overwhelmed by the feelings of guilt, sadness, and fear of not being able to help her friend again. And we would have to see and watch RWBY overcome these, and then work towards rebuilding a friendship with Penny herself. Now, this last one, number 3, I don't really know how to name it, but we could see some great leadership / maturity from RWBY's character. So let's roll with the idea that Penny's father can rebuild Penny herself, but he doesn't wish to because he's afraid to lose his daughter again. Which means he won't rebuild her, or that he doesn't want to rebuild her, or that he does rebuild her, without her memories intact. So going back to my earlier point where I said they looked like a function was being created with her eyes kind of going all funny, maybe that was her memories being uploaded and Penny's alive, but she doesn't have memories of her own death. Because honestly, if you had died and got reincarnated and you had your memories of your death, it would heavily weigh on your psyche and probably corrupt your system a little bit. So, RWBY would have to talk and convince Penny's father to rebuild or to reinstall the memories of her friend. Well, maybe the memory installation doesn't have to be. Maybe it could just be them working towards becoming friends again. But the reason as to why RWBY would have to try and convince Penny's father to rebuild her would be for the greater good of Atlas. It would give them a good and better defense, because let's be honest, Penny's fighting combat skills are really good and useful. And this would be very useful in the battle against Salem. Now, those are just some of the reasons as to why I think bringing back Penny could help the story or branch off a storyline, or they could bring her back for the purpose of. But at the end of the day, all of these reasons listed could work towards RWBY getting a bit of closure on her friend's passing, much like Team Junior, Sean, Ren and Nora had in Volume 6 with the Pyrrha statue scene. Now, these are, like I said, my 5 reasons which I think they could bring back Penny if they desired to do so. It could help other characters develop, and it could help create new storylines in one way or another. Now, there are millions of possible ways they can go about doing this. So if you have any of your own, then put them down in the comment section below. I'll be interested to see what they are. Otherwise, if you agree with any of the comments or statements that I've made, or ideas that I've had in this video, then let me know and we can start discussion about it in the comments as well. Like always, like the video if you like the video, dislike the video if you dislike the video, and if you wouldn't mind, let me know why you disliked it. Subscribe if you're new so you never miss a video from me, and if you're a fan of RWBY, because I'll try and review the series when a new volume comes out. But other than that, I hope you have an amazing day, and I will catch you all next time. Goodbye for now.